Hey, Night Demon here. Just a reminder that with the season ending, the artifact will go away and be reset with a new one. So, this coming week, if you've got time, save as many bounties as you can, so that when your new season starts, you can gain a few levels really quickly by turning them in for XP. Plus, don't forget to collect anything that you've unlocked from your season pass on every character, because if you've just focused on one character, there may be stuff that's on the season pass that you haven't checked for your other characters, like the armor and things like that. So go and have a look, go and check, and yeah, good luck. So with all that said, I'm going to now return you to your normal broadcast. Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. A show where we discuss tips, tricks and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more. What makes us different? Well, we're not streamers or YouTubers, we just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 news, information and opinions. We encourage your questions and feedback, and you can contact us either by email, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com, or on Twitter at 2titans_hunter. Now, on with the show.
Frosty's here in the Discord.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. We know what they're
Might
like.
mean something.
Oh, come on. We'll get this going. It'll be great. It'll be phenomenal. All the people will love it.
It'll be a thing.
It really will be. It's going to be something. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be something. The bird woman has appeared. Please pick up your bounty from the bird lady.
I missed something important there, Frosty.
See, back in the olden days when there was still this thing called trials, and people did these things called carries. Frosty got carried by Night Demon's buddies who were doing the trials runs for a while, and on stream, all you heard was her birds in the background, and the chat was going nuts, being like, "Are those birds? Do you hear birds? I hear birds. Why are we hearing birds?"
So I kept muting. And
phenomenal.
I was like, unmute so I could talk.
The aviary's on frozen right now.
Oh God, do we have
Frosty
both?
and Detric on the same mic?
Do we have both of you? That's frightening. I did send Detric his own invite for what it's worth, but he apparently doesn't wish to be noticed or notified.
Well, he gave Kira his phone, so.
I only rent my phone at home.
Fair enough.
You rent it out from the children, don't you?
Yes, I do. I pay a heavy price.
Electricity, food, water.
Alexa's, I hear.
Hi, Respawn. Miss you.
Yeah. I'm sure you don't.
You're my favorite person. Are you kidding?
Meanwhile, my demon and Parody are like, thanks. I'll be chopped liver over here.
They have a special love, Frosty, that we shouldn't get in the way of. It's a special love between two people that are just going to pick at each other forever, just like two children in the backseat of a car on the way to their grandparents' house for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, because it's guy love.
Mm-hmm.
No, what's funny is I can just imagine going, "Mom, Detric's looking at me again! Mom! Tell him to stop!"
You're not wrong. That's what I'm saying. It's perfect. The visual's there, the audio is there. As soon as we take that road trip to Florida, then we'll have the full on video experience, and we can make the road trip video and everything.
And then Detric's all like,
So Respawn's back there like,
Respawn's poking me! Tell him to stop poking me! Take that as you will.
So welcome to a very special episode of Two Titans and a Hunter this week, where we are joined by two special guests that can prove a hunter and a titan can live in perfect harmony. Well, almost
Harmony's
perfect harmony.
A strong word.
Okay. Perfect is a strong word.
Right up until the Titan gets murdered in his sleep.
We welcome Fr0styHav0k and Detric to the show this week.
Hello.
Hello.
No
Good to know
fake
I'm not
accents.
the only one with a dysfunctional homicidal marriage. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's why we play Destiny. We
Well, there you
shoot
go.
each other a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You shoot each other? He can do that?
No.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they've unlocked a special code in the game.
There's a secret friendly fire you can turn off when you have so many Xboxes in the same house together. You can just turn that off, and then
See,
you can blow each other up in rage even
night.
easier.
I tried that last night for my bow challenge. It didn't work.
No. You load him up with Telesto shots and send him into battle. That's how that's supposed to work.
Ooh, shots.
Can you stick a magnetic grenade on a friendly?
I'm almost certain you can. I feel like Pan and I have done it. I'm not positive though. It's been a while since I've
It sounds
used
like
them.
a Frozen episode. Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've used the magnetic ones, but I'm almost certain you can because I'm pretty sure Pan. I know in D1, Pony definitely was on the receiving end of some grenades.
Oh, we all did that one where we had to stand still and shoot each other with the pistols because we couldn't do it in Crucible.
Shh, don't tell people secrets.
Speaking of Frozen doing dump, I think I found a
secrets
few
were
potential
not good.
I
recruits.
thought we were promoting the clan.
We are, and that's what I'm saying. I did the raid 3 times. Well, I did a raid 3 times this week to try to get the 1,000 voices. Still no love, and multiple times, same guy, same party, kept rocket launching the freaking sword in the Well of Radiance, and we're like,
Here's the thing.
He's gonna be the clan founder. What do you mean? That sounds like perfect material to me.
it's like, dude, it's like, do
Pan
you
gave
not
it to
know
me, I'm
the
giving it
sword
to
is a
him.
solid object?
Mm-mm.
Wait, what?
Not in his world.
God. Oh, I thought I kept shooting the bubble. What?
That's also
not, that
a
doesn't
solid
help
object,
us.
friend.
So you thought you kept shooting the bubble. You didn't move to try to fix your area. If you were shooting the bubble, oh my God.
whoops.
I don't even know how many times we've tried to cheese Riven with that guy. And eventually, we finally got through it, and just barely. And then he said he had to go, and the whole party was like, "Thank God!"
Oh, devastated.
Sounds like Vault of Glass with the bubbles and the
Don't know
rocket
don't know what you're talking about.
Nope, not at all, right?
So you say you want the bubble in the middle or the front of the platform, right in front of Atheon? Yep, got it. Don't worry.
We have one guy. I don't know if you've done Riven lately, but the new cheese is to put the bubble in the back by the pillar and the Well of Radiance right in front of it, right? So everybody gets weapons of light and then jumps in the well. Well, this one guy that came in with the diet, we're like, yeah, put the bubble at the back. This dude took that to heart. He didn't just put it in the back by the pillar. He went behind the pillar and put it by the back wall. We're like, what are you doing? He said put it in the back.
You could have worked for that.
Riven from there.
Just following orders, sir.
Yeah.
You said back. I went all the way back. Back into the
Unless
next
you
county.
plant the
Sounds
flag
good.
exactly where you want it.
Mhm.
You know,
What?
I understand.
You can't plant the flag in that part.
No, but you stand at a point and you go, here is where I want you to drop the bubble.
Yes,
That
you have to
works.
be very literal with some people.
Yes.
Would have
Leave me
made
out of this.
way too much
Not
sense.
just you.
You know, and the thing about it
You
is
have also
how long has the
genetically
raid been out?
engineered your
How do
children
people
to be
still not know
dumb.
the basics of this kind of thing? You know,
Frosty and
Big-
Detric haven't done the raid, have you guys? You haven't done the last
No,
wish?
we have not.
Well, there you
Because some
go
of
then,
us-
see?
Because some of us haven't even set foot into Last Wish other than to, collect a chest a time or two.
Yeah, I haven't even done that lately.
look,
getting-
honestly,
We're
I'd
getting
love to teach you two guys.
Oh,
We all know
I
the
wanna
limitations
watch.
that I have,
Wait,
right?
me?
I want to watch. Can I watch? Can I just
No.
watch? I want to
I was
watch.
gonna
It's not
say,
gonna
as an admin, I'd probably kick you.
It's not gonna happen because I mean, there's so many. When you play it so many times, you just kind of inherently know what you have to do. But like we had one guy that was learning, and when we were trying to explain to him what to do, I realized when it becomes habitual, you forget how to explain it.
Yep.
You know, it's just like, well, you gotta, what's that thing called?
Just watch us for
you-
a few minutes. You'll
You got
get it.
to pick up the thing, right? And when the guy
Mhm,
has two
mhm.
of the things, you got to go to him and you got to hit the button. Which button is it? The super button. Okay, yeah, you got to, sitting there clicking buttons trying to figure out how to tell this guy what to do because you've done it so many times for so long, you don't know how to explain it anymore. You just
That's
do it.
like training people for a new job. It's like, look, just watch me for a while. If you have questions, let me know because I'm not really sure how to tell you what I'm doing.
Oh man. Anyway, so welcome Frosty and Detric on the same mic. How are y'all doing that, by the way? Is it just like Because I know you
We're
guys have a headset, so are you both
sitting
just like
right next to each other on my
with the one
iPhone?
headset with the mic just kind of pulled out in the middle of you guys, or
No.
So
do you have this
I've got this
awkward
image.
image where you have one side of the headset on somebody's ear and the other side of the headset on the other ear?
I've
And you
absolutely got this
both
image
have
of
your
like
heads squished
of like
together?
the elementary school style, like sitting side by side, one
Yes.
earphone in one ear, one earphone in the other ear, so they can both listen to the Walkman at the same time.
Uh-huh.
That's
And then the
totally
mic
what I
in the
imagine
middle.
happening.
Yeah.
We're
Holding each
old.
other
Stop
lovingly
it.
as you you know what? I'm stopping. Anyway, what's the first thing on the agenda? I don't have any notes.
That's the after dark version. We're see we figured out the master plan this week. There are no notes.
Oh,
The game's made up and the points don't matter.
Show.
We just to let you scream about things.
What's in the
Detric
setting?
infuriates you. You scream. The rest of us sit back, and in 2 hours we're done.
no. This week it wasn't Detric that infuriated me. It was somebody else. Invited anybody to come play the thing.
So you join us this week as we've introduced our guests. We have Parody, who is here still, and Respawn. He's here still. And me. I'm still here. And as you heard, we've got no show notes for this week. So we're basically just going off the cuff. We're going to make stuff up as we go along and just have a nice general chat. And there's going to be a few tips and tricks thrown in there at various stages. And we'll have a few videos for you at the end. So, Parody, you had a few thoughts, didn't you, of what we could talk about this week?
No, not a single thought.
You
No
liar.
idea. No idea at
You
all.
liar.
This is not well thought out.
No, he had thought.
This is the Frozen clan. We don't have thoughts. We don't have plans because plans are for terrorists. We've been over this. No. I was just thinking we're at the end of the season. Bungie clearly is at the end of their season. Going, we're done. We raised a bunch of money. There's a video coming. Watch that. We're going to eat turkey now. Peace out. Bye. So I just figured since we're at the end of Season of the Undying and our Season of Dawn starts the 4th of December. The season starts at the 10th. The reveal is at the 4th of December, so we can't talk about that yet because we haven't seen it. And I assume we're not running out to do our holiday shopping on the Bungie store. I figure it would be a good time to talk about what are your, we have a big menagerie of people here. Well, actually, we're one short of a menagerie technically, but we have a big group of people here, almost a raid team. Just what were your thoughts on this season? What did you like? What did you not like? Are you going to miss the Vex offensive? Are you waiting for the Stargate crossover once Ikora finishes building her thing? Just sort of, we're at the end times here. We've all run out and bought our Google Stadias, and we're shifting to that for the next season, obviously. So that's weird. Yeah, now be a good time just to talk about thoughts and what do you guys think?
Are you guys really getting the Google Stadia?
Yeah, we didn't tell you we're all switching over to Stadia. I watched Cheese Forever's 3-hour stream he did. It looks phenomenal. I mean, I don't see what the problem is. The fact that they
I think the problem is because
blew that launch. They blew that launch completely and sent hardware before you could even register for it. And Stadia is what we thought it was going to be. And if it's here,
Stadia is good. You can play at 60 FPS, which is more than what the Xbox One can play.
It can, yes, can in a sustained manner. We'll see.
Yeah, but I think my biggest problem with Stadia, and the reason I'm not going to go to it, is because PC.
I think the biggest problem is because everything that's not Stadia. Sorry, Stadia.
It's a good concept. I think they were trying to do like PlayStation did, because there was a guy on a plane that was showing me he was playing Mortal Kombat on his phone on the plane from his PlayStation, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then a few months after that, this whole Stadia thing started happening, and I just don't think that they did it the same way that PlayStation did it. Now, don't get me wrong, this is the only time I've ever seen that happen. Was on this guy's phone. That could have been a one-off. It could be just as crap as Stadia. I don't know. But on this guy's phone, it looked really good. So,
yeah. I mean, it's the same thing that
playing Destiny on my phone.
No, It's the same thing, Microsoft Project X Cloud is going to do. It's all. I mean, it's the same thing that they tried before in a couple different iterations, and it lasts for a while, and they realize no one is doing this. So,
I mean, if you can get rid of the hardware and maintain the whole thing is the internet speed. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's going to be the downfall. Is everybody's internet speed is going to determine whether or not you're going to have good graphics all the time. The idea is great. In reality, not so much. Now, if you live in Australia where they have the best internet in the world, Andy. Anyway, then it might be possible. But when you live in places where you only have 100 up, 100 down, not so much.
Or the entire rural U.S. and I'm sure rural Europe and everywhere else too.
I'll tell you something that I've been trialing because I've got into the beta for the Xbox streaming, and
how has that ruined your Xbox?
No, that's fine. I can stream from my Xbox Destiny via all my games to my tablet and play with my Xbox controller when I'm at work. And there's like Xbox Game Pass games that you can play directly from Xbox as well. So I can stream via Xbox or I can stream from my home console. And at the moment it's in beta, but it's working quite well. There's always going to be some kind of input lag. But what they said is that it's going to be coming to all kind of makes and models of phones and tablets. And you can also connect PlayStation controllers, Xbox controllers, all up to your tablet via Bluetooth. So if you prefer the PlayStation controller, you can stream your Xbox game to a tablet or a phone, play on your PlayStation controller.
So Detric, I know you've been on and off, and how much getting. Not that the show ever had rails to fall off of, but we're going to try at least move it back toward where there might be some rails. I know you've had limited time to play, and your precious KD is very important to you. What have you? Is there anything you got done this season that you didn't get done in the past seasons, or anything that you're mourning the lack of in this season, or looked at the season and went, meh, I don't care. Let me just go back to what I was doing.
To me, this was House of Wolves with a new stamp on it. We just took the Wolves, replaced it with Vex. We had some new graphics. I'd like to play the raid like I wanted to jump all over Crota, but the draw wasn't there for me.
Or any of the ritual weapons? Have you done any of those? Do you care about any of those? They made the recluse grind a lot easier this season. Have you taken time to do that, or are you also just like, meh, don't care about that either?
Really, I have not done any grinds for weapons. I have my Graviton Lance with almost 50,000 kills on it. I'm very happy there.
So pleased with that buff, huh?
when you drop the catalyst on it and it's almost a sniper, I can deal with that.
So are you happy with the amount of content that we got, like with the Nightmare Hunts, the Altar of Sorrow, the Dungeon, the Raid, and then the Vix Invasions for just this season anyway? Are you happy with the amount of content you've got?
There is a lot out there. There's a lot to do, but again, a lot of it is community-based. You got to have a group to do it. And if you're like me, where I've stepped away a bit because of school and family, and I can't jump in, hey guys, we're going to play. It's difficult to get in there and get your hands dirty. So, I'd love to get in there, but I can't always jump on with 3 people.
Right. But then things like Vex Invasions are only 750. Are you talking like dungeons and...
Dungeons, the raid, a lot of these things...
Well, the one dungeon they have is pretty nice. You saying you want more like that?
He wants time to play it.
I was going to say,
I want time to play.
Down there.
I want to get in there and
I jumped into the pit. That's about as far as I got.
It did land well, but I jumped in.
No, I landed just fine. I got to the first little turret and got slaughtered.
So, Frosty, what's your take on this season?
I like that there was stuff to actually work toward, like that with the little oh, you've made it to season 40, or the thingamabobs.
Those thingamabobbs.
Yeah, those things.
The battle pass.
Just like
Yeah,
all
the
of a sudden
season
you're
ranks.
like, ooh, I just upgraded, that kind of thing. I thought that was fun. I haven't been on for like a month, so I'm very far behind now, but I've almost made it to 960, so I was like, hey. But yeah, I like the all the stuff on the moon. I love that stuff. And then this new wave thing that they're doing for the nightmares and stuff, that's been kind of interesting. But yeah, I'd like to attempt a raid at some point and, take in 2 more people just to go into the pit because I still have a ghost I need to recover. Like, kind of wish they'd make it so that we could have, however many people we want to go in, like, for different things. I think this three people is getting a little burdensome.
But with that, they would have to ramp up the difficulty because then you're adding more people into it.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's a lot more work behind the scenes that they would then have to
They
put
don't
into
want
it.
to do.
But
Write the code, damn it, get it done.
a question to both of you. Do you
Mm.
think that the seasons are moving too quick for you now because you are players that play at a leisurely pace of not going in there the first week and getting it all done like a lot of hardcore players do? Would you prefer the seasons to be stretched out more so that it gives you more time to do the stuff and enjoy it and get in there with your friends over a certain period of time, or are you happy with the fact that it's just every 3 months you're boom boom boom?
I myself would prefer it to be a little bit longer because I am a casual player, because I've only made it to level 49, and they're saying that 10 days and it's over, and I'm like, I'm not going to finish this at all because I don't have time for a grind,
Yeah.
But you could just buy you could give Bungie the money, buy your ranks at the end of the season. Isn't that appealing?
Since it came up because I have exactly 100 silver, and I was like, what is this? Like, maybe I'll wait until the legendary engram comes up and then I'll do it, but it's probably going to be something dumb.
So how much is it to buy your way to the end of the path then?
Thousands of dollars.
Really? So is it like 100 silver per 10 or something like that?
I think so.
Okay.
And it might, who knows, it might increment like Spider. That jerk.
Detric, same question to you about the season?
I think my big thing is, have they spaced it out enough where we don't have that drought at the end there? Where we always seem to have a 6-month content drought and we're just, circling the drain,
When
looking for anything to do.
Oh, you mean like the Facebook Messenger games that we had to play because there was nothing to do?
Anybody want to play dragons?
Hey, those dragons were really high ranks at the end of that drought. Let me tell you.
I like it, since they are building their own content and releasing it. Just as long as we don't hit a 6-month stretch of nothing to do, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Bungie's Bungie again, not Bungie and so. It's helpful.
I agree, because after Halo Reach, they really went down when they were partnering with everybody because Microsoft was controlling it all. And then we saw the same issues with Activision. I am really excited to see what they come up with next.
Yeah. I think Microsoft have changed significantly, haven't they, in the last 5 years at least, from the launch of Xbox One, and the fact that they're now partnering with Sony a lot more. They're working with a lot more companies. It's a lot more open to like a lot more cohesion. I think that's a good thing for Xbox and PlayStation players, to be honest.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if they finally do let us play across consoles. And I know Sony's been dragging their feet on it, but
it sounds like it's coming because I think between Fortnite and Destiny and
Call of
even
Duty.
Nintendo, Call of Duty, even Nintendo getting on board. Nintendo, who made cartridges for years because of piracy and doing their things their own way. I think they're finally starting to see the light of if we can sell our game. If I own an Xbox, my friend owns a PS4, and my other buddy owns a PC, I'll still buy the game from each of those companies on the console I own. It's more money in their pocket versus going, no, you can't play that. You must be over here in your own little bubble. I think they're finally starting to see the light, and I mean, technically it's possible, and I think financially they're going, this is a better idea if we do this, and we all make a little more money in the end versus seeing it as my pile of money versus your pile of money. They're all
once they figure out the market and how they can really profit from it, everybody, allowing everybody in different games, we'll definitely see that just break out.
Yeah, it's definitely something that Bungie want to do, and they keep hinting at it with tweets and forum posts and going, we want your feedback, and I think it's just more ammunition from the player base saying, we want this, for them to go to the companies and go, they want this. We can do this, they want this kind of thing.
Once you pool the entire player base, your queue times are done.
Yeah.
Boop, want a game? Jump in. Want a game? Jump in.
The thing that's annoying, though, is that they listen to the one complainer and go with that instead of all the other people that are going, okay, why don't you fix this instead?
Yeah, but what about PvP in any game? PvP on a phone versus a PC versus a console are going to be 3 totally different experiences, and PC 99% of the time is going to have an advantage over the other 2. What do you do about that?
Yeah,
they'll just use a baseline, and it will be Australia.
I was going to say, I see a lot of broken phones in the future.
Yeah.
Well, Fortnite do cross-play across console to PC, and I believe Call of Duty are now doing it, aren't they? With the latest iteration. So if some games can do it, then I think ultimately Destiny needs to get to the point of 60 frames per second on the next style of console. So the Scarlet, the PS5, I think then we'll probably see the crossplay.
The new Project Scorpio, which will be in my Christmas list next year.
Yeah.
No, it's not even going on my Christmas list. I'm just buying it.
I think it'll be, it's definitely an interesting problem to solve, and I think it'll either like we've said, you can play cross-play against things, but we're going to limit you to sort of whatever the lowest common denominator is to sort of equal the footing a little bit. It's still not equal footing if you're playing on mouse and keyboard versus a controller, but at least it'll move it more towards equal, or just say, hey, there are certain tiers. We'll let all the console folks play together, but PC, you're off in your own little world, or for other stuff, or just say PvE content we can do it, PvP, maybe there's a certain playlist or a certain something. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to do it. Well, I'm really curious to see how they solve the problem and what kind of experience it is, because I don't know. It may be something you can switch on and switch off. If you don't do don't turn the cross play on, then it keeps you with people in your own console or your own pool or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well thought out.
Respawn, have you got any thoughts on this season? Has it moved too slow, too fast? Are you happy with it? Are you not happy with it?
I don't really have too much to complain about. I do like the dungeon. More importantly, I like the events that happen right outside the dungeon layer. Huh?
If you can't remember what it is, then you're not a fan of it.
I was going to say, more importantly.
Well, I like doing it, right? But it's the new, not the Vex Offensive, not that thing. The 7 layers of hell you got to go through to get into the dungeon the first time, right? The new public event that's just like the
You're insisting on having this music play.
1 hour later.
I already said it at the beginning of the show.
Protocol, it happens on the moon. I can't remember the name of it, but I like that a lot too.
Altars of Sorrow.
No, that can't be it. It's something else.
The things that come in after the public events, the Altar of Sorrow, the Nightmare Hunt.
No,
Altars of Sorrow.
Cozy up to Erisborn and just Swiss Spring Sweet Nothings in here.
Where you fight the ogres and the witches, and they come out of one
English
trying to go in the other.
That's the Sorrow.
No.
Oh, the part up there in the upper right of the moon in that area, where you go and you stand in the red ball, and then the ogre comes out and tries to murder you.
Yeah.
Whatever those are called. Not nightmare hunts, but I don't even know what those are called, honestly.
Yeah, they are. Those are nightmare hunts.
isn't it?
Yeah.
no, it is what they're calling
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm not going to repeat this over and over again. You guys argue with the fact that I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, it is the Altars of Sorrow. I was just messing with them. That's really fun. The nightmare hunts are also a lot of fun too. I like how they're stronger enemies, things like that. I don't really have much to complain about it. My only really complaint.
Oh, good. He hasn't got a complaint. Let's move on.
No, it's not a complaint. And actually, it's something the other YouTubers brought up too. Is just the
Wait,
elements.
wait. Other YouTubers?
The other
Are you-
YouTubers, you're not a YouTuber.
Are
can't
you
say
implying
others.
you are a YouTuber now? Because
No.
I can't comment or subscribe, and I'm very disappointed about all three of those.
First of all, yeah, you can, Mister. You and your wife should play games. You weren't streaming whenever me and the wife did her first day on Destiny, so shut up. The other thing is, I didn't mean to say other, but YouTubers out there were complaining about it too, about how the elemental attributes on armor just don't make any sense. It's adding grind just to add for grind, right? We already have to grind for the roles that we want. We don't need to grind for the roles and the element.
Hang on a second. Detric and Frosty, are you concerned about these elemental roles?
Not really.
Are you aware
Exactly,
there
there you go.
are elemental roles?
Do I? Yeah, there's elemental role. What? No. I don't
Detric?
really pay attention to that stuff. Detric does because he's OCD.
Okay. But is he really concerned, or is he just make sure that he's got one of each and he's happy?
It's not a matter of OCD.
Exactly. He's got.
It's not a matter of
one
OCD. When you
each
start
thing
playing high level things, it matters.
for each-
Yes, I know it does to some people, but for average players like Detric and Frosty, they've got one in each element, so they're covered. They're not really concerned. It's the YouTubers, it's the guys that really like min-maxing. Like me, I will admit I have several pairs of boots all in solar with all different roles because I have OCD. But
but I think didn't you say it's not about being OCD? Come on now.
no, I'm saying it's not about us as the hardcore players. I think as the general population don't care about stuff like that. The people that are moaning about that are the people that just like to have a moan.
It's not like to have a moan when you're doing the
They
raid,
do.
for example, and you have a piece of armor. You need to add like extra grenade ammo, right?
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Which
Well,
you
that
can put
only
on
comes
anything.
on. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. It comes on
Discipline
one
mods, you can
element.
put on anything, right?
Yeah.
No,
you can.
not
Yes.
wrong grenade. Grenade launcher ammo, dude.
Okay.
Okay, grenade launcher. Okay, well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
different.
Okay.
Plus, grenade
Yeah.
doesn't have ammo, so I thought that would have been a giveaway. Anyway,
It does one at a time, possibly two.
point is you can't do that because it comes on. I think void. Somebody's gonna yell at me. I gotta go. Like I'm pretty sure it's void, right?
No, you stick
And you
with
can't
void.
have it on anything else, huh?
You just stick with void. That's fine. We understand what
Okay.
you're saying.
Right. So, I mean, when it comes to things like that, and you have your whole armor set out right now, all of my things are masterworked, and they're
Right.
like, "Oh, well, we need you to put X, Y, and Z on your armor for this particular encounter."
Yeah.
Great. Now I got to mess up my whole freaking everything I got going on just so I can do this one boss or encounter efficiently. It's so irritating that I have to have one of each element armor,
Now,
hopefully with the rolls that I want on it.
shall I
Just-
help? I'll help you and your
Random
raid team out here. Do you know what? Don't change a thing on your armor. Just do the pocket finisher, and you'll be yeeting that boss off the edge of the map. Done. Sorted.
Or just say no.
Yeah, I'll just say
Also,
no.
you can't do that with every boss. For example, Shirochi. You can't do that to her.
I don't know who that is.
Swolgaroth, can't do that to him either. Bosses that are enclosed inside an area that have no ledge,
Just
you can't do
stop
that either.
eating.
Could be
Stop
vaping.
eating while you're talking.
White brownie stroganoff,
Sounds
dude,
like
it's so good.
peanut butter.
It
Anyway,
wouldn't
no.
be a podcast if he weren't. It doesn't matter if we do this in the 5 in the morning, 5 in the evening. He's going to be eating no matter what.
Yeah, he's eating no matter what time it is.
Because Luna, we're podcasting. I'm going to need food
Feed
in
me.
about 45 minutes.
Yeah, feed me while I podcast,
Start
and then
now.
I will talk at the time that I'm eating, not wait till everybody else is
to
talking.
be fair, I wasn't eating at the time. I was trying to get the stuff out of my cheeks, but it's fine.
You're a hamster or something. You're packing it in your cheeks.
Only a
What's the matter
little.
with this?
Don't judge me.
Jesus.
Free squirrel.
All right,
Uh,
Resquirrel.
But the point is like you can't
No wonder you
yeet a
hamsters
boss
in
off
real
of a
life.
ledge out of a few particular encounters.
Well, not with that kind of attitude, you can't.
I would suggest a name change, but somebody quit the clan and get mad at me.
He came back. I talked to him.
Are you the one that brought him back, Frosty?
No, we will talk about that at the end.
Re-squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
No, hamster.
Retail.
Hamster.
I mean, honestly, the dude listens to the podcast, right? He came here because he listened to the podcast. I don't know what he was expecting whenever he decided to join our band chat.
No,
It's
but
like-
maybe he expected just stuff from you, not everybody else. Maybe he thought everybody else was
No.
not.
Okay, everyone out there listening to the podcast, Respawn is the entry fee you pay to be in the clan.
Yeah.
Respawn, I'm not going to say is the absolute worst, but really, if you can tolerate Respawn,
That's a mandatory
Anything is-
30 times of gameplay before you're allowed in.
Mhm.
basically everything from there is downhill from there.
Yeah.
Don't expect competence. Don't
Unless you're
expect
Detric
sense.
and Parody, who say you have to change your name or you have to fight Frosty to the death, right?
That's the rules. Frosty was the first Frosty Havoc. The next Havoc or Frosty has to fight to the death for naming rights. That's I
You
don't
ever
make
stop
the
to
rules.
think that maybe
I just enforce them.
it was like maybe he just likes her. He looks up to her and he wanted to be, or I'm assuming it's a he, could be a whatever, right? Assuming this individual looks up to Frosty like a role model, wanted to be like Frosty, and you guys are like, nope, can't do it, fight to the death. I mean, come on.
They say you
No,
should never
he's-
meet your
He
idols.
said
This
he
is
was
why.
so thrilled when he could actually change his gamer tag because he got the stupid roll of whatever from the
Yeah,
name
yeah,
generator.
silliest fawn or whatever.
Yeah.
Pickles for you,
Yeah. Can we talk about the name generation on Xbox? Because my
No,
wife
this
didn't have
isn't
an
the
account.
name generation game, is it?
mean,
there are no show notes.
could
It's
be.
chaos. It can
No.
go.
Total
It
chaos.
can go wherever
Well, it's
it
all
goes.
been cut out then. It's all been cut out then. That's it. It's
Why
just
do
gonna
you
be,
have to
hello,
be
this is the show, and then that's it.
Oh look,
socialist?
I have a
editor,
glass of
man. Come on.
water. It is.
Well, that's it.
starting
Well,
to
Thank you for
vibrate.
listening to the podcast. It's over and done with now.
Fair.
If you don't say what I want you to say, we're cutting it out.
Yes. There may be no notes, but you follow what I tell you. Do as
Wow.
you're told.
Wow. British dad, everyone. Come on now.
You're not my real dad.
There hasn't been one British sigh. I am totally perplexed.
It's only the beginning. Give it
That's
time.
because we've got no
Not
notes.
trying hard
I've got nothing to sigh about.
Right. There's no
There's
words to
no-
read.
yeah,
there's no sighing.
Right. There's no bringing it back to the
So,
center to keep.
While we are here and while we are talking about it, Detric, what do you have to say to Havoc74?
I love you, man. I sent him a message. I apologize for being sarcastic. All I did was have a little fun. I didn't even know he was on there because we got like 100 people in the clan, like 12 talk.
We have 90 people now. I've just culled the herd a little bit
But
since
still, there's 90 out there.
so-
There's 12 of us that are like constantly jabbering, and he suddenly shows up. What the hell? I had no warning.
There is no warning. There are no rules. The points are made up and nothing
And
matters.
it wasn't a continuous conversation. It was a single statement. Fine, screw it, I'm out. And and utter panic. My heart is going. I'm starting to sweat. I'm going. What did I do now? This is not
You've
the
hurt
first time.
somebody's soul. They came here thinking that they were joining a community with love and decency and
No.
How are
And-
you figuring that when there's
What
you?
podcast are they listening to?
I was gonna say,
I was trying to keep a straight face, man. Jeez.
There's no hope of that. Come on now.
Havoc,
that
if you are
I mean, one
happy,
can hope.
Havoc, if you are happy with the grovelling and the sorries from Detric, then please let us know. Otherwise, we will repeat this every week at the end of the show.
I love
We'll
you,
just
man.
have it
No,
on-
we're not
on a
making
loop.
that promise. No,
No, I'll have it
No.
on a loop.
no. No.
Wait, does Detric get the shame music this week though? That's the real question.
Yes, yes, he will
Well-
get
No,
shamed.
no. Do not box me
Shame
with
music. Oh, what? Shame.
Shame,
it. I love you, man.
shame, 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 shame.
I love you, man.
Shame. 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 Shame.
It's perfect. We do good work here. What can I say?
Should we get back on track? I know there's not really a track, but
There's no track here. You can't fool us.
so Parody, tell us when this stream is going to happen from Bungie about the Season of Dawn.
It's going to be the 4th of December in the year of our internet 2019 at 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m.
UK.
UK
It's a
time.
Tuesday again, isn't it?
And the next day in Sydney, sorry, Andy, it's 14 hours ahead of Eastern time. So the next day, probably in the middle of the night, because that's what they like to give you streams for. You'll figure it out. It'll be on things.
I am sorry
on Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer, all three.
Yeah, and
Once
I am
again.
sorry for the rest of our Australian listeners. We only put the Sydney time down. We know there's other time zones in your country.
No, there
sorry.
aren't.
But the spiders
no.
have eaten them. So,
Mm-mm.
no.
Yeah.
There's only one time zone. The rest of it is just wreckage, koala bears, and kangaroo. That's it.
Fire, floods, koalas, spiders.
Yeah, accurate.
So
It's similar to Texas, but a little further south and with more sharks.
Ta-da!
So on the Vidoc that we had a couple of months back when they were detailing what's going to be coming up in Destiny for this year, on the roadmap on their whiteboard they wrote Season of Dawn and they put fixing the timeline. So let's throw a few spinfoil hats in the ring. What do we think is going to happen this season?
There's a timeline.
It's all redacted.
I mean, we have the Vex where honestly, I've kind of lost track of where our timeline even is at this point, and how we're going to go about fixing it. Are they just going to destroy the tower again and be like, "Hey, the Vex won this time, gotcha"? Now you have to fight the Vex to get your tower back, and also you've lost all your stuff.
Got him.
I absolutely loved reintroduction of the Vex. I love the Vex play.
I want to know why the whole Aldrin thing came up and then nothing.
You can't shout from the back of the room.
Sorry.
She said she wants to know why the whole Aldrin thing came up and then nothing.
He sounds like Bill Cosby.
You sound like you're not really participating in the podcast now, Frosty. You
There
can't
was
come on as a guest.
lasagna emergency that she had to run off.
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm back. No, it's not even.
So 19, what are your thoughts on the timeline? Since I'm assuming you have set it up, because I honestly have lost track of the
I need to ask a
timeline.
question.
Are we ever going to find Osiris again?
no, I don't have any real thought. I haven't really actually thought about the next season. I've just been panicking for finishing off this season. I've
What are
done,
you trying to panic finish?
Well, I've done all my Vex assaults. I've done all my weapon things on that. It was then I need to do the season badge. So making sure that I've played enough Gambit games, played enough Vanguard
fool.
strikes. I did the Randy's throwing knife pretty early on. That was like at the beginning of the season. But then I thought, I've got this little, Vanguard thing to do, and I've got to get this weapon. I've got the weapon. That's fine. I'm still doing the Vanguard thing. So I don't know why I thought that I'd be finished after Void. Then Arc suddenly popped up, and I was like, oh no. Oh
yeah.
why?
You think, oh hey, I've gotten the edgewise. We're done with the strikes, or I'm close to done. Oh no, friends.
Yeah.
Once you get the edgewise, then your grind truly begins, and you sit down and you play Nightfalls and strikes until you just don't care anymore, and you're like, Vex, just come on, just take things over. I'm pretty sure I can play that moon Nightfall in my sleep at this point, and just put it on autopilot while I doze off. I've run it so
many different
freaking
things
times.
happened at the beginning of the season. The Vex is resurging. Then we have this new bad guy shows up. There's so many different things going on. It's kind of perplexing.
Yeah. And I think the thing is you get a bit mixed up with making something your priority. I mean, you want to play the story, you want to be involved in what the evolving world is, but then you kind of you're trying to play all the content that you can. I mean, I used to do my warlock, my hunter, and my titan every week, get all the bounties and do all the engrams and things. And I found over the last month that I've just played my titan. I've gone, oh, I can't do everything
Well, you
that I
played
wanted
the right
to do.
character.
Yeah. I mean, I got them all up to 950, but then I thought I can't maintain the level of commitment on all the characters and still get everything that I want to kind of get done this season. And I feel that the season is too short for what I want to do. I want to be able to play at a reasonable pace, but not.
But look
Not
what
as-
else you've taken on
not-
during this time. You created a podcast. You created content. You created, additional time consumption. That's why you don't have enough time.
Cult.
Yeah, there is.
You created a cult,
That's
really.
you.
I like
Yeah,
that.
there is that. But yeah, I'm now kind of restricted down to like 3 or 4 days worth of a couple of hours play. So yeah, it's just
I absolutely love that you guys did this. I love that you guys have put this time in, and you've created this podcast that
Cult. What?
Something that he can go work and listen to instead of actually listening to the he doesn't like working with.
let's fudge that
But
out.
you see where I'm going with the fact that even you guys are, I know you're not as committed to kind of getting everything done, but as a casual player, there is a hell of a lot of stuff to do. And if you're not committed to actually doing that stuff, and it, like I was saying, when it comes to the badges of the Undying badge or the Triumph, you have to go and you have to complete those Vanguard, Gambit, and Crucible quest steps, and they are very long quest steps. It's not something you can. You can do it in a week, but you get, like Parody said,
That's
you're
only
going to
if
be
you're
playing
doing
strikes
just
in your
that.
sleep. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I ended up doing that this week because I was on the strike quest step. So one of the
My
objectives,
condolences.
one of the objectives is to get a cumulative score. You can't do that in normal strikes, so you have to do that in the Nightfalls. And Nightfall, the Ordeal, is probably your best bet, and the heroic version of it. I know it's hit and miss with blueberries, but you can probably get about 80 to 90k if you've got good blueberries with you that are taking out all the champions throughout the strike. And this week wasn't a bad one because it was the Inverted Spire, so it's a very quick, Nightfall to do. But doing it 5 or 6 times in a row to hit that score was a pain because you're trying to also get your elemental kills in that, and you're trying to share your kills with the other players in the team. So it was that was a bit tricky. So what I would do after I'd done the score part of it, I would load up the old style Nightfalls where you could put on the burn for the card. And this week we had the arms dealer, and what I would do is at the start of the strike, turn around, go back through the little manhole, all the way back round on the map to Devram, and there's a section just outside the church. Shut up. There's a section outside the.
What?
Yeah, there's a section outside the
Finish your
church.
dinner.
Yeah. Section outside the church where you have the enemies moving against you, and I found round there would be the best point to kind of get my elemental kills. And if more people showed up, I would to come back out and kill a couple more enemies, disappear to another section, come back, and I'd get that bit done pretty quickly. And I was telling Andy in the clan, because he was asking what would be the best trick to do that, and it's basically going into a solo Nightfall. And if you can load up one with a burn that would help you, and then kind of spec out your armor to do either, fast grenade charge, fast melee charge, fast supers, or all three if you can, then that's probably your best way to kind of knock that part out. And again, you have to do solar, void, and then arc.
Well, I was with Durian today, and he was trying to get some portion. He was meleeing, I think, and we went into the Vex offensive, and I'm like, "It's taking so long?" And he starts cracking up laughing because he's like, because all these people are trying to get their stuff, so they're not actually doing the objective. And I'm like, that explains it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I played a lot of Vex Offensive with teams of like 4 people with bows out and being like, okay, I'm glad we've all come to the understanding we're not trying to get this done. We're just trying to kill things. And I always feel bad for like the one guy who clearly seems to be actually trying to progress the event. It's like, no, sir, you've missed the mark here. You should go join another team that cares. We're here for something specific.
That should be like is this for such and such? Yes. Okay, here's your little play area.
And that's the thing. I mean, you can get the Undying Pin or the Triumph by doing all the different things to unlock it. But then there is a separate season badge that you can get, or not a badge, a separate season Triumph, or I can't remember what it's called.
Are you talking about the title Night Demon? Like the additional? I know there's the Undying title, but then there's like another.
Yeah, no, actually, it's
for like the whole thing.
Triumphs. Yeah, the season Triumphs. If you go into season 8 Triumphs, there's several that are tied to the Undying Triumphs seal that you can get. But then there are separate ones that you can get which are worth points. So this would be for you, Detric, because I know you used to do a lot of pointage for your.
I used to love that. Then they screwed it up.
I was going to say that. I mean, I was going to talk to you about that. I find that in Destiny 2, it's a lot harder to max out your. It was Grimoire score, wasn't it?
Grimoire.
In your first one.
Like number 6 in the nation or something. You were insane.
Me?
Yeah.
Iron Banner.
Oh, yeah,
He was always trying to compete with Jack Lee. Like,
oh no, yeah. No, we're talking about
like,
Grimoire score, not Iron Banner.
Yeah. At one point he was like number 6 in all of the UK for Iron Banner play.
No.
For the Grimoire.
Right. Sorry.
I was
number 1.
I was first. Thank
you. You were number 1. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Yeah.
Also, the only person I know to get the 2,500 kills with the Iron Burden on when they did that one season.
No, but Cheese Forever's got that as well.
No, you're the only one. I'm sorry.
Crucible, so he was the one that went into that for me.
We were talking about the Grimoire score, which was your point score that you could get from getting the Grimoire cards in Destiny 1, and now they've put it to a Triumph score in Destiny 2. And I think year 1 and year 2 seem to be pretty straightforward that you could get the point score, but now they seem to be. I mean, Crucible is always going to be a bit of an issue with like the comp and the pointage that you can get from that. But then now they've introduced seasons and season scores, so you can get 50 points that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get, is closing the warp gate within 10 minutes before 10 minutes has elapsed.
They've overcomplicated the system.
You have to do that 4 times too, I think. It's not even just once, because I'm sitting at like 3 or 4 of that. You have to do it more than once.
Really? No, I'm sure it's just once that you have to do it before 10 minutes.
Yeah, see, they've overcomplicated the system. It's like another set of things of needing to be done.
But do you not think that's just for the hardcore players to make sure that they've got
between Jack Lee and I fighting over for 6 months, that was just fun to do.
Yeah,
I got 5 more than you now,
and they've taken away that fun, is what you're kind of saying. I mean, that's what I was thinking as well, to be honest. I mean, it used to be fun to be better than somebody one week, and then they'd overtake you by like 5 points, and then you'd be scrabbling, looking through, going, "Well, what can I get 10 points on to beat them for this week?" and things like that.
That was the entire thing with Destiny 2 when they reset. They took away the competition because we took away our rankings. New Monarchy, Dead or
the entire faction system, basically.
The faction system completely went out the window for some reason.
Those characters are still there, but they have a lot of free time on their hands now.
Yeah, they're just like,
there's nothing to compare
I
it to.
I stand here all the time.
It's now about who's bought what at Eververse and who looks, who looks the most pretty. Who was there when Eververse sold this, basically? And
had enough bright dust to buy it.
What they could do to make things really funny? Make it so that the Screebs have a grunt birthday party happening every time you blow them up.
Yes.
Make them piñatas.
We need a grunt birthday party for everything. Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that I've now kind of given up on, like the triumph score and trying to collect everything that I normally would collect, like cosmetic wise, like the ships. I'd make sure that I got all the ships so that they're all in my collection, all the sparrows, all the ghosts. Now I'm like, I can't afford this game. I like playing the game, but I can't afford to collect it because you're actually asking me to spend money until we're several seasons into Destiny 2 Year 3 and we're getting the engrams that go back to the beginning part of this season, and we'll have to see what we get from those engrams.
Because everything is so randomized, it's so time gated.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee you can go get it.
Yeah. Like what they did with I think they did at the end of last season, didn't they? With the Year 1 engrams. And they put the original exotic emotes that you could get from the first year in those engrams that you could get. But they would only have, I think it was 2 out of the 4 available. So there was a gunslinger one where he shot bottles on a table. That didn't come back. And I didn't get that from Year 1. So I now can't get that. They did the broom sweeping one. But you could reacquire that through the engrams. And I don't think you could do the selfie emote one. But there are certain things that they leave out of the Year 1, the Year 2 engram bundles. So it's that FOMO thing that we were talking about previously.
They added in all these ornamental things that they want to try to sell you, but what they could have made it more RPG, more MMO. They could have branched it out, different things you could have done.
Yeah,
it seems like a lost opportunity.
But what I'm saying, the engrams that we're getting at the moment are for, I think it's Year 2, aren't they, engrams? So it's old stuff that you may have already bought or acquired from Year 2. What I'm saying is that when we get to Season 9, 10, 11, is it going to be a Season 8 engram, but it's only going to be a select amount of Season 8 engrams? That's what I'm saying. Is it going to be the full range? They haven't actually told us, because it's then, if you don't buy it now, will it ever, like the Jotun Sparrow or the Fighting Lion Sparrow, is that ever going to show up again?
Engrams later down the road.
That's like the Ghost Shell, the Galaxy Ghost Shell. I really want that, but I can't get it.
Or will it be in those engrams? Will it be something that you had to be there when? You either had to have had enough bright dust to buy it this week, or have enough silver to buy it, kind of thing. I'm
kind of okay with that, because that makes it more of a unique moment if they don't bring it back. Because, hey, look, I've got that. How did I get that? Sorry, can't have that.
Yeah, but I don't mind that if it's you play the game and you can earn enough bright dust to purchase those things.
Yes.
To have the chance to buy those. And it's limited to the fact that if you don't grind out all those bounties, and even if you do, I think we worked out the other week, wasn't it, Perry? It was 3,600 that you could get max per week on.
Right. Yeah, and that's assuming you're absolutely maxing out and playing multiple characters and doing all those extra bounties, and it's another place where the economy is just totally skewed. It's a huge time commitment for very little reward in bright dust.
Mm-hmm. Whereas before you could dismantle the engram stuff and get bright dust from. So that I think that's where they've lost that. So my enjoyment of what I used to like doing has been cut down, although I still like the game. But with the triumphs, like going back to there's the Season 8 triumphs. There's the one closing the warp gate within 10 minutes. That's worth 50 points. You've got close the warp gate before any of the nodes are activated, and that's another 50 points. And I was listening to another podcast this week, and they were saying, or their guests were saying, that every time that they'd played the Vex Offensive, they'd one-phase that boss. Now, I haven't ever one-phased that boss with Blueberries or a 6-stack of us, and I know that's quite very limited amount of times that we've gone in there as a 6-stack as a team. But have any of you guys shut down in the first node before it's moved up that hill on the Vex Offensive?
Nope.
Never. Very close on Once,
Do you remember
once
which
the final
clan you're
assault
talking
came in. Right, yeah.
I was expecting Respawn to come in and go, yep, I've done it at least 3 times with, random
I
people.
haven't done it at all.
Yeah.
Completely disappointed in Respawn now.
Yeah.
No, but normally
The first boss, the first boss I never got close. I think maybe like 3 phases is the least I'd ever done. Again, 6 stack were mostly blueberries. And then with the new, final assault, we were I think that was the first one I went and played. I was just with 5 blueberries. We were really close to 150. I don't know if that was anyone's goal in that group, but we were just 6 random people. We were really close to the 1 phase, and we did it in 2. We just weren't quite quick enough to get quite enough DPS. But I never even got close on the first boss at all. So I feel like the second boss is at least, a little bit easier maybe to do it in. But yeah, no, had no success.
It's just that little things like that you don't, unless you're actually actively looking in your collections and looking at the badges and looking at the different things, that you don't know that you're going to miss out on. And I know it's not tied to the Undying Seal or anything like that, but it's like 150 points, these 3 activity things that you can do just in that season because the Vex Offensive is going away.
Yeah, and it's so, again, as we're sort of at the end of the season, I finish my Undying grind because I hate myself and do things over and over again just to get a trinket that I can put on my character. We're at the point in the season where I'm going, okay, what am I close to? Either what's going to go away at the end of the season that I should, finish up, or just what triumphs. And I know it sort of shows like here's 3 triumphs that you're sort of close to being done with. But it's like I wish there was a better way to say like, okay, let me filter this by what goes away at the end of the season. Show me all the triumphs that I need to get in this season, or I can never get them. I have to go to to the Braytech.org site, or look through other sites to try to figure out, or wait for someone to write an article or do a YouTube video going, hey, here's the 6 things you need to do before the season ends. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah,
I wish the game itself were a little better at surfacing some of that and showing that to you, especially in the last, say, hey, there's 30 days or there's 2 weeks left in the season. Here's the things you should try to get done, or here's the things that go away, or just there'd be some somewhere in the UI to go look at that. Let me filter it by those things, or let me filter. The information's all there, and it's obvious by all the apps that are being built and created and updated with all this information. But there's nowhere in the game to really get this information or get it in a sensible way. It's all there. You just have to dig through it, and that is not a great.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right? Yeah, it's not a great experience going through each triumph and looking at it, or or some of them you're going, okay, what is this? What do I need to do for this? I have to go Google what this thing is to even understand it, because some of the wording on them is iffy at best.
Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? The wording sometimes is a little bit, it's not very clear. And like I was saying with the quests, I would like the fact that if you click on the quest, it breaks it down, goes, right, there's 10 steps, and it kind of folds out and goes, right, this is step 2, this is step 3. So you've got to do a lot of stuff for the end of the season. I've known that at the beginning of the season, I would have made sure that I'd played enough strikes each week. I'd kind of been ducking and diving, just doing the odd night for a powerful reward and things like that. I mean, Crucible came because we were doing Iron Banner quite a lot, because that came up. So Randy's and the Crucible one went pretty easy. But there may be other people that don't go into Crucible that want the Undying badge, that now they're kind of struggling to get it done. And I know we've tried to remind people over the last 2 or 3 weeks on the podcast, this is going to end, this is going to end. Look, here's some guides on how to do this. But it's not until you actually start doing it yourself, you realize how hard some of these things are, or time consuming.
I was going to say, daunting. Maybe not difficult, but tedious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time commitment alone. I mean, and all these grinds, honestly, it's time. Speaking of that, also reminding people, momentum control comes back this next week. So if you're working on that. Yeah, I'll say, so if you're waiting on your Randy's, momentum control comes back here on Tuesday. So if you're working on the Randy's throwing knife, or even your scout rifle catalyst, any of that stuff.
What time Tuesday?
What was that?
What time Tuesday? Because I am off.
Reset.
11 o'clock EST.
Yeah. Reset. Momentum control will be one of our rotating playlists for Tuesday. So yeah, if you're working on anything, Randy's throwing knife or catalyst wise, jump into there. It's a fun game mode anyway, but it's also just stupidly fun. And honestly, the only reason I have my Randy throwing knife done, I would not be. I have had it done any other way.
And as we're reminding people about what's happening next week, there's bonus infamy returning. So bank those motes and boost that infamy for Gambit. So if you are chasing the not Edgewise, exit strategy. That's the one.
Mhm.
Wow.
I knew it was eggs something.
They both start with E. It's close enough.
Yeah.
So that should have been Respawn's bit.
Mm.
Machine
And
gun,
a-
SMG. They both go pew pew pew. You know.
Yeah. I saw a not True Vanguard, a Fallout Plays video of saying that the exit strategy ruined his life. And the
Yes.
issue that he was having was, I think, getting all the medals. You have
Yes.
to get a ton of medals, so I've got that to look forward to next week. And
Oh, boy.
the invader kills, that's another one to. I've got to rely on other people to jump through a portal and kill some people. So
Bring Andy with you and use the truth, or
he
just
doesn't play at the same time I do anymore. So no.
Well, you guys need to coordinate your across the globe, timetables and figure it out.
Only a little bit.
He just needs to play at a different time. I can't.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Use your
apparently,
indie throwing knife. It's phenomenal for invading.
apparently the flashpoint is going to be the Tangled Shore. But I'm sure the Tangled Shore was either this week or last week. So
Yes, I saw somebody pointing that out. It was like, hey, it's the Tangled Shore again. So we'll see if that actually stays the Tangled Shore, or if
yeah.
someone forgot to press the button to progress the flashpoints before they went on, Thanksgiving holiday.
And we were right. There was a 4th raid challenge this week, although it wasn't kind of
Yeah, look at that.
publicised in any TWAB. So I think it
Two
should
Titans
go back.
exclusive. Woo!
I think it should go back to the first raid challenge. So there is a guide that we posted a couple of weeks ago for that, which I will probably link in the show notes along with the raid challenge 4, so that it's there.
Look at us being
Okay.
all up on things.
We are up on things.
Up on
and
things!
and it's the second week of the curse next week, so it's not the one for the truth to law power yet. That will be the first week of Season of Dawn. So if you are still chasing your lore pages, just remember, first week of Season of Dawn, go to the Dreaming City, do the blind well, get that done and out of the way, then you can go and enjoy the rest of the game with the new content.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We sort of talked it a little bit to death last week, but Detric and Frosty, have you looked at any of the solar class changes? Care about any of the solar class changes? I've forgotten what you.
There's been changes to the solar class.
There's going to be there. Yeah, we're basically where we had our
swords.
we had our arc week. Now we're going to have our solar week with the Season of the Dawn. They're reworking all the solar class stuff. So
there is going to be some achievements to the other classes as well, but they haven't revealed what they're going to be. I think DMG did tweet out this week that I can't remember what was it.
Thunder Crash is being
Thunder
tuned.
Crash is being tuned.
Yeah, so we'll see whatever that means. And to answer our question from last week, you'll be able to activate your Icarus Dash twice before cooldown next season. So I know that was a question we had about the Warlock retuning. So 2 Icarus Dashes and then you fall to Earth.
I believe Frosty is a Tether Hunter and Detric is a Striker Titan, so you're not going to get a good answer from them about solar stuff.
I am no longer a tether.
I
I haven't been a tether since the.
So what are you now? Who are you even as a person now?
I'm a
right?
Barrage.
Oh, so you're going to enjoy next season then?
But why?
Why not?
Well, I mean, is it for DPS? Because if it's for DPS, bottom tree tether does more DPS than Blade Barrage.
Respawn. You've heard the story of
definitely DPS.
Frosty in the raid. So I mean,
Frosty does Frosty. You leave her alone.
I'm not telling her what to do. I'm curious as to what promoted her
You
decision.
just told her what to do.
Because it was.
I said, is it
Now,
because of
it's
this?
very
Because if it
easy.
is, then that does better.
Yes.
That's what I didn't tell her what to do.
Yes, and then they kind of screwed that up a little bit.
Oh, well.
But even with the Void, I was doing the Shadow Blade, so
Oh, okay.
I haven't done.
I must hang my
arrows
head
for a
in
while.
shame as well. Because I've
Why?
been a tickle finger warlock for a while now.
Right, you can get off the podcast. Kick him in the shin. Kick him in the shins.
Hey, someone has to have some warlock thoughts.
Actually, no, we did want a warlock on here.
We never have anyone who ever plays warlock. It's like, and there's changes to warlock, and it means something to someone. So I'm glad someone's playing a warlock. I know they're out there. We just never can seem to find any.
No, but he doesn't main a warlock. He mains a titan.
He means ignoring your messages to come put on your sweet business with you. That's what he does.
Damage right now. I have to be a warlock.
Ooh. Oh, what?
You're just not tightening right. That's all.
So, Parody, tell the lovely listeners what you and Panoramics were doing in Iron Banner this week.
Oh, we were using the Warthog A10 loadout in Iron Banner this week.
Which consists of?
That's the new... Okay, so here is our super, in-depth build. Okay, get your pens and pencils out. You're going to want to find your sweet business, and you're going to want to find your Actium War Rig, which we call the War Pig, because it's funny that way.
What character do you need this for?
On your Titan, of course, because there is only one way to have all of the bullets.
And you have 3 people.
I have set aside my sweeter business, my gnawing hunger with overflow, to put the actual sweet business on, because you'll get messages like, that build is freaking awesome. You sound like a scary roaming machine gun through the game, from random people you play with, because you just sit back and you have all the bullets and you grab your buddy.
It is a singular random person. One.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If
somebody
you can
send him love, don't you take it away.
Yeah, if you can talk about your random messages you get, so can I. Person
I also say a person said. I don't say people are saying this. Come on.
Many people, all the best people, very high class quality people. Yeah, so you have your friend and you wait for people to peek the corner and going, maybe the guy is going or he has to reload. No, we're still there. You kill the first guy, you kill the second guy, you kill the third guy, and if you're lucky or they're just dumb, then you get the fourth guy. Pan was getting 4 strings of kills. We were getting double downs and triple downs pretty consistently, running through Iron Banner with the two of us. Not neither of us play all that tactically, especially not with that absurd loadout. It was more or less just kind of stay near each other and send all 900 bullets in that direction, and then either die by the time you need more or eventually have to reload. We were sitting at the top of our teams and top of our leaderboard with 20 to 25 kills a game. Not the best KD necessarily, 1 to 2 KD somewhere in there, but just mowing people down with bullets. And you can it's fun, the things, spectral blades, you can absolutely outshoot. People with the recluses, they have to reload long before you've even thought about the end of your magazine. It's a lot of fun. It's there are a couple games we were outshot by the Not Forgotten, the Loon's House, or snipers, because you're not going to engage at range with that. But mid to short range, it's so much fun, and it's just stupid. We laughed our heads off so much, and then Pan dubbed it the A10 Warthog build. So if you're looking for something to be stupid and screw around with, I wouldn't do it momentum. Face shot off long before you get enough bullets to your target, but everything else, it's just stupid amounts of fun. I won't even say I play a particular class because it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, particular subclass. I don't even remember what I was. I think I was Void, maybe, but it doesn't matter. You have all the bullets.
The Iron Banner with the what was it? Mayhem.
Yes, we turned it into Mayhem with all the bullets.
So last Christmas we had an event called the Dawning, and we've had one for a good couple of years now. There was one point where you could pick up snowballs, couldn't you, around the map and throw them at each other, even in the tower. I think
you could use them on enemies too.
You could, but I don't think we had it last year, did we?
I don't remember. No, because I was disappointed because I had the banner that showed how many I killed with them.
But what we did get last year was a prelude to the menagerie with the oven that you could get to bake some cookies to give out to the NPCs to get goods for trading, couldn't you? Do you remember this, guys?
I can't believe it's been that long already.
I know. So
I baked many treats.
We might be getting this back this season, and it might be the same. It might not be the same. So last season we had things like Gajala Doodles, Traveller Donut Holes, Chocolate Chip Cookies, telemetry, telemetry tapioca, and gentleman's shortbread, just to name a few, because I'm not going to go through all of them. And you would then take them around to the NPCs, and they would give you. There was a lot of enhancement core farming, wasn't there, from doing this? So hopefully, if they bring it back again, and I believe it was Eva Levante again, wasn't it? So she gave you
Yep.
an oven, and if you went and killed certain enemies, you'd get different materials to then bake in your oven to then give to the NPCs to get random drops from like blues all the way up to exotics, I think people were getting. And it was a good farming method for materials. And it lasted for 3 weeks. They did have a Winter's Drift engram. I'm not sure that we're going to get that this year because they've stopped doing the seasonal engrams for each thing like this.
You'll be able to buy it from the Eververse. They'll just put
Yeah,
all that stuff in the
there'll be
Eververse,
Eververse
spend your
stuff.
silver.
But what we did get last year was an exclusive machine gun. It was called the Avalanche. It was an solar machine gun, and it was the first of its kind, wasn't it? Before we got Thunderlord just before that, but then this was our first solar machine gun that you could only get with random rolls. I think from doing different things. I can't remember 100%. Maybe that will come back this year because I think if you lucked out on didn't get it last year or you got a really bad roll of it last year, then hopefully they'll bring it back. There was a couple of good ships. We had the Glad Tidings and the Home Away, which were exotic ships. And the best part of it was the Santa Claus Sparrow, the Dawning Cheer. Do you
The
remember that
sled.
guy? The sled.
It's like they would spit out glimmer as you drove around for
You had
people
to
pick up
upgrade
and
it as
collect.
well, didn't you? You had
Right,
to
you had to upgrade it, and then it would spit out little bits of glimmer as you drove around the map. It
I
was
flying to
wonderful.
the tower to pick it up now.
and it really wasn't worth following the glimmer truck, was it? It was like you'd pick up one
No.
glimmer. And people thought it might be game breaking, but it wasn't. Maybe that will return this year. That'd be a bit of fun. There was also a couple of ghost shells, the hard packed, which was kind of a snowman, little antlers stuck on the side. True North, which was like a pretty, ghost shell. I don't know how to describe it. It was a pretty
Yeah,
shell.
it was a ghost shield. Yeah.
And then we had the Protect the Team, which was the exotic emote, which was the hockey stick being thrown down and then you getting out your gloves, throwing your gloves down and punching.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
So maybe that was only exclusive for last year, or maybe it'll be available in the Eververse this year. So yeah, and then they had 3 different armors for the Titan, the Hunter, and the Warlock. So you had the Frost Strike for the Titan, the Frost Veil for the Hunter, and the Frost Reach for the Warlock, which can now be equipped as ornaments on the armor if you did collect those last season. But it might be like we had with the Festival of the Lost, where you had an exclusive armor set. This year, I did notice in the Eververse store that if you got a couple of the pieces from the previous year, you'd get a discount on unlocking the rest of the ornaments. So I think I had 3 pieces, so I had a 60% discount on unlocking the last 2 that I needed for that set, and it'll probably be the same for the winter stuff as well. So if you didn't get the full set from last year's winter event, it's guaranteed going to be. I'm calling it now. It's guaranteed going to be in the Eververse store for you to unlock at some point.
So if it's not, send your messages to Night Demon at TrueTitansHunter@hotmail.com and tell him
I'm wrong.
don't care. You're listening to the podcast, so it's a win.
So Respawn, have you got any extra news and information this week?
Extra? No, I mean, just
It's just, no, because it isn't written down in front of you.
Yeah.
Parody. Is there any extra news and information this week?
Well, you asked earlier if I had anything to say, and I didn't. So why would I have anything to say now?
No, not you. You
There's
know
some things to be
your
said.
news section, your new news section that we go to every week now for the last 3 weeks, where we say Respawn's extra news and information. So
He's heard of it. He's vaguely aware. So again, the fantastic Destiny Roundup has a couple of items. The Thunder Crash being tuned to the next update. And the team is definitely aware that players, this is from Cosmo, the team is definitely aware that players want more unique loot. I'm not trying to claim this is new feedback we haven't seen before. We try to reply and acknowledge comments show up regarding these responses. So, people want unique loot for things. It's something they're looking at. Again, no guarantees, no timelines, whatever. Cosmo can pass along his own opinions about things, but his job is to reach out to get the community's responses. So I think people are sometimes taking their word as gospel, saying, you told us you're going to give us this. And he's like, hey, the best I can do is pass the feedback along. He's not the one building the game. Best he can do is tell those who are building the game, this is what folks want.
No, it's Deej, isn't it, that builds the game?
Yes, Deej single-handedly has 16 keyboards and 19 screens in front of him and builds the entire game from
That's
scratch.
why we haven't seen him for a while. Although saying that,
he did send out the Quab, so
there is an event coming up in London. I will find that while you.
So are you going to hang out with Deej in London then?
No.
As your houndish alter ego? Well, while you're doing that, the strings for the Garden of Salvation lore tabs were added but didn't get hooked correctly to show in game, so they're going to fix that. So if you've been looking for your Garden of Salvation lore, it's not there. Pass that along as well. He would like to, I guess someone was asking about the cookbook. Cosmo just wants to reassure everyone, dev resources were not used on the cookbook. It is being created by a partner through the Bungie store. So if you thought the devs were actually cooking on the side instead of building the game, no. That's the English majors that are working on the cookbook, not Bungie. You're not getting a worse game because they worked on a cookbook. Don't worry about it. Warlock feedback. They're definitely monitoring feedback about the subclass changes they just announced, including Warlocks. They'll pass along feedback about buffing the Nova Warp again. And he's asking the community, if you're a Nova Warp user, what would you like to have changed about it? What are specific things you'd like the Nova Warp to do, not do, that it can't do now?
And go back to how it was when it was OP.
Yeah, exactly. Just OP it, just like we did with the Telesto and everything else. Again, same thing with the Warlock melee speed. That's being buffed. Warlocks, don't hold your breath. The Titans had tiny T-Rex arms all through D1. It's never going to happen for you. Just get over it. We appreciate how you feel about changes on paper. We're also monitoring feedback, and we can play the changes and see how they feel in the game. And just thank you for he thanks everyone for posting. And he says the server outage had nothing to do with Stadia.
Just think.
So we'll just let that sit there for a minute. DMG doesn't believe they'll ever break down the complexities of their server and networking on how things can go sideways, but they always love opportunities to explain when they can. And he just says briefly, it was started as a memory issue deal within one of our services, expanded to something that impacted numerous aspects of Destiny, how it handles clan, loot, and more. And after that issue was addressed and fixed, they ran into more issues. So again, making things are hard, computers are dumb. Destiny went down for a while. DMG tells us they're going to make some adjustments to 801. Full stop. And again, the team is digesting feedback on the Season of Undying. So again, tell them, take to Twitter, take to the forums, take to Reddit. They're there just looking for constructive feedback on Season of the Undying, what you liked, what you didn't like. Again, they're looking for information. Say hi to our new German community manager, Maurice. There's a thread about seasonal titles being there. And he's also collecting feedback about community meetups in German-speaking areas. So if you speak German, you're probably not listening to us, potentially. But there's information on how to find those meetups.
Well, so you're saying if they speak German, they don't speak English? That's kind
I'm saying there's a chance. I'm not assuming everyone speaks the language I speak.
Why not? It's the number one language in the world, right?
It's a big world.
Right?
And then Epion has information on a competition golden ghost figure that can be found on the Bungie Twitter in France. And then they just talked about the Black Friday sales promotion has already started in the Bungie store. So if you're looking for things from the Bungie store, go there and buy them. And I just want to say thank you to Ramshackle Shotgun for putting together this Destiny Roundup every week. It's a phenomenal community service. So thank you very much. It is, we couldn't do a lot of this without you. And just thank you. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. When does
And
the
congratulations,
Yeah, whatever.
gentlemen, and Respawn.
Something, whatever. Wait, what?
What did we do?
yeah? What did we
You
do?
broke the top 100 Apple iPod downloads, number 94. Congratulations.
In which category was it? I don't remember now.
I think that was
Gaming.
Was
I
it
just saw
gaming or leisure?
iPod.
Yeah.
Gaming and
No,
leisure.
Respawn.
Gaming
Will
and
you tell
leisure.
the people that you are really happy with that?
But I'm not, because we're only 94.
So
Anyway.
tell the people your complaints with that then.
Yeah.
We're not number one, obviously.
So what do they need to do?
They need to force us upon our friends, family, and other loved ones.
Okay.
You know what? Not even your friends and family. All right, you just random stranger be like, "Yo, check this out."
Well,
You don't even have to
random
know 'em.
stranger in the tower probably would be best.
Of course.
Just
Well,
not a random
maybe not
person in the
tower.
street.
Just anywhere, everywhere. Who cares?
Okay. Just checking.
Just send the 2 times to the hunter name to people while you're playing the game in their Xbox messages, because people love that.
Mhm.
Send it to them all day, every day. It'll really go over great. Get you lots of love.
I believe the Black Friday event for the Bungie store finishes on the 9th of December. So you've got a bit of time if you want to go and purchase something for yourself or a loved one for Christmas.
Did you just say the 9th of November?
He sure did.
9th of
Okay.
December.
It's his accent. You can't tell.
Yes.
Don't
Ninth.
judge him.
So yes, I
mean,
I believe that.
Do you have?
Oh, give up.
Do you have? Is Black Friday a thing outside the U.S.? I'm curious. Like, is that a thing that you acknowledge, or you just say, "Hey, those Americans are having things on sale again. Let's buy crap." Is that a thing that other people do?
Yeah, we just copy you now.
Good work. Go to Bungie.net. Buy things from the store. Don't buy things from the store. They'll either be up to 40% off, or they won't be.
No, it says so. The Black Friday event for the Bungie store is up to 50% off on certain items. There's quite a few good things. You know, there's a couple of tumblers. There's poster, some Stay Classy Guardian leggings. I'm not sure I really want some leggings because
No, you should buy a model of the legging.
no.
The game itself, Shadowkeep and Forsaken are both also for at least 40% off on the US store. So if you've been waiting to pick those up, now might be a good time.
There's Mega
Wait till
Constructor
Christmas.
Destiny Hive Horde attack sets. That's half price, it looks like. You've got the comic collection. There's a couple of hats. So yeah, that runs until the 9th of December. So if you want to buy your loved ones anything nice, or you just want to treat yourself, well, there's a nice necklace. Warlock, we're not having that. So yeah. Also, there is the Dawning Festival community event in London happening on the 17th of December 2019.
Road trip.
I know. It says.
So tell us all about how you're gonna be attending and what you're gonna find out.
I will go through the description and stuff. It says, calling all guardians. Join us in an evening of food, drink, and prizes. Ooh, they've got me at food.
This sounds like a video journal.
You should vlog it.
Yeah.
Selfie stick and everything. You got this.
Did you say vlog it?
Yeah. Apparently, there's going to be surprises, a speed run, charity raffle, and dawning celebration, along with some very special guests. Your host is going to be Deej, and he'll be kicking things off at 7 p.m. and will be our guide for all the evening's activities. Quiz. Think you know your Destiny
No.
stuff?
Yes.
Deej plus special guests will be your quizmaster. Awesome prizes up for grabs for the winning team. Sign up will be done on the night with a maximum a maximum size team of 5. The Great Dawning Bake Off. Oh, lovely. Yes, you heard it right. It's the dawning, and we know how much Guardians love festive dawning cookies. So we would like you to make your very own Destiny-themed baked sweet treats, cookies, cakes, tarts, it's all good, and bring them along to the party, where your creation will be judged and based on presentation and taste. The prizes on offer for the winner will be Grimoire Volume 1, signed by Bungie devs, the Deluxe Bungie Store 5th Anniversary Stationery Set, a Destiny t-shirt, and if you'd like to get involved, please email them, and I'll include all this in the thing. Tickets are just £8 excluding booking fee, and that includes pizza, 2 complimentary drinks, and Destiny treats. All the ticket proceeds go to the Bungie Foundation. You have to be over 18, and it looks like the ticket price is going to be £9.21 with fees, and that is going to be in Worship Street in London. I don't know where exactly Worship Street is in London, but it's in London somewhere. Let's click on the little map.
Man, how do you not know your own backyard, man? What's wrong
I'm
with
going to
you?
click on the map thing. I'm clicking on the map thing, and I'm zooming in. Hang on.
You shouldn't
Will
need
this
the
be
map.
on the
You
video
should be able to
portion
tell
of the
us
podcast?
right off the top of your head where the hell it is. How dare you?
I would say that that's near London Bridge train station, but I could be wrong because it doesn't. The map doesn't go there.
But how could you be wrong?
No, I can't go. I have commitments. My wife tells me, so I will link the website if anybody is in the UK and does want to go to.
And please video podcast this for us.
Yeah, I would love to go, but yeah, I can't.
You're
Can you
letting us
send some-
down.
Can you send Seventh Scar? Can he go?
Ooh,
Sounds like we need a
possible.
GoFundMe
Actually,
for,
no, he
for
can't.
Demon over here.
No, it's not a no. It's not a GoFundMe. It's I've got children to look after. It's not anything. I can afford the ticket
So-
price and I can afford
Yeah,
to go.
Go fund me for a babysitter to
Yeah.
watch your kids while you're
Yeah.
gone.
So it's a babysitting issue then. So if you'd like to look after Night Demon's children, which is really easy, you just turn the Alexas on and the Xboxes on and just walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Please go to his house at.
So I'm just going to go through my tips, tricks, and builds videos for anybody if they're interested. So last week we featured a video by, I think it was Choose Forever, that highlighted this, that a couple of other people had discovered and held on to the yeet glitch for punching raid bosses, strike bosses off the edge of the map, Vex offensive bosses off the edge of the map, and one phasing them. So I think one of the founders was JB3, and he'd worked with Squarelock Homes, I think it was. I had issues with doing this, and I bored poor old Blue Screen to death for about half an hour in a nightfall. I then went to my tribute hall to then try and test out this, at which point he left, and I haven't seen him since, and that was Wednesday.
So what you're saying is we're going to need proof of life
Yeah.
that
Proof
Night
of
Demon
life
hasn't done you in.
Proof of life for Blue. No, I took him to the tribute hall and I bored him to death for like at least 2 minutes while I tried to do the yeet glitch, and I couldn't do it. I ended up there all by myself because he left, and he left the party and went off. So I was practicing.
Using the word yeet.
I know.
Duh.
I was practicing and I couldn't figure it out, and I ended up going on to a couple of comments on the YouTube videos to try and figure out if anybody else had the same issue that I had. And a couple of people were saying, I can't do it. I've tried this. Is this patched? I even looked to see if it was patched myself. And one of the comments was, you need to do this and this. It's not as straightforward as what they're showing you in the video. They're not kind of explaining a bit better. So JB3 has done a finishing glitch for dummies, and he was one of the original founders. And I watched it, and after I watched it, I did it first time, and I was like, yes, I can do this, and I've done it several times since. The only problem is that you realistically need to run it as a fire team of whoever to communicate that you're going to be doing this, because if a random blueberry shoots the enemy that you've pocketed your finisher on, then your pocket finisher won't work. You have to leave that enemy alive as part of the glitch. Also, part of the glitch is when you do the melee, you're outside of like a melee range when you go to throw a melee punch, but you also have to kind of slightly walk forward and click in your thumbstick or whatever button it is to do the finisher, but not actually be within finisher distance, and that will then pocket the glitch for you to then do it on a boss later on. So in JB3's video, he shows you how to do it over and over again, and basically you should be able to get it from that because it is really, really helpful. Plus, another Choose Forever glitch that I didn't manage to sneak in last week, but I've seen a couple of other videos on this, is there's a broken 2-tap glitch with some hand cannons. And this requires you to have a hand cannon that has got explosive payload, like the Better Devils can roll. And I believe you can get explosive payload version out of your collections if you've got the year 1 version. And what you're looking for is a similar gun that has a timed payload. And I've got a timed payload Better Devils, and I've got the explosive one. And what you want to do is you want to go into its Crucible mainly. Go into a Crucible match with the explosive payload equipped. Once you load into the match, you then want to swap to your timed payload. And what that will do, it will then glitch the gun to give you the explosive payload, the time payload, and a range bonus. So you can 2-tap very low resistance Guardians and 3-tap others. And it's very good fun. And I was playing with it this week. And even on console, it's not that hard. So when you die, as soon as you die, you go back into your menu, swap to the original gun with the explosive payload. Once you zone in, swap back to the one with the time payload, and it's still very quick. The load screens work very quickly. But Fr0styHav0k has a video on how to do this. So if you want a bit of fun in Crucible and 2-tap people, yeah, do that. As0k has a video on how to snipe in comp, because he spent a lot of time in comp in the last couple of weeks. And he said it's a little bit different from how you would normally snipe in like just normal PvP, and because competitive is a little bit more sweatier, a little bit more harder, he's got some tips on how to snipe in competitive. MTash has a new meta with a Super Solar Titan build, which he highlighted a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago, that nobody kind of listened to say that this subclass is really good, and he's re-highlighting it because of the new subclass changes coming back. So if you're a Titan main and you are looking at this subclass, he goes over what he went over in the previous video, but he also explains in more detail about how much extra damage you are going to be doing by throwing hammers. Basically what Respawn was scared of last week with throwing a hammer and 2-tapping or 1-tapping a Guardian.
Called it.
Anyway, so yeah, MTash goes over that. If you've got a couple of the Claws of the Wolf from the Iron Banner this week, or even if it's coming up in next season, Deicide has a God Roll guide for you for that gun. So if that's a pulse rifle that you're interested in collecting or looking for, he's got a couple of good rolls for you to check out. Destiny Fun Police has a fantastic stock card. I think it's stock card. Submachine gun from, I believe it was Future Warcult. So if you manage to pick up this weapon in year 1 or 2, I can't remember. It was
year 1 of Destiny 2.
Yeah, I can't remember when those faction rallies happened. It was such a long time ago.
Year 1.
The Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages. We'll call it the Dark Ages.
What's the renown?
If you have this in your collection, you can pull it back out. And he was doing a lot of good gunplay with this weapon because I believe it's one of the only submachine guns that you can change the fire rate on. So what it will do is it'll go from a 900 rounds per minute to 600 rounds per minute, but it will double the damage with whichever version, go up or down, whichever version you're on. So if you're on 600, it's double damage. 900, it halves the damage. But it's a very good gun with what rolls it's got on it, and he was getting a lot of hate mail on it, so he's put a video together on how his build was for that day. And then we have a True Vanguard video for Titans, how to be a menace, and this is post One-Eyed Mask nerf. So if you've got any Titans out there that are looking for what you can equip being a Titan going into the...
Didn't I already cover that?
Yeah, you did.
I mean, if you're being not a good menace, but if you're being a menace, it's the sweet business in the active war rig. But your thing's probably good too.
Yes. And then Az0k has also got another video out this week. The exotics for the Dawn. What?
Did I just short circuit you and you not actually talk about the thing for being a Titan menace?
What? Yeah.
Did you actually say what that was?
What?
The Titan menace.
No, you short circuited him and he got off track.
No, I said there was I said it was by True Vanguard. He's put a video out.
Yeah, but you didn't say what it was.
No, but there's several different builds in the video that he goes over. What you could be doing apart from wearing the one-eyed mask.
Parody is skeptical. Parody thinks he's broken you. Parody insists that he's broken you.
Anyway,
Parody refuses to believe anything else other than he's broken you.
Az0k has got a very good a very good video on exotics for Season of Dawn and different builds that
all the solar ones.
No, it's not all the solar ones actually. It's not all the solar. But he does point out the new. I can't remember what the Hunter Veil is. Is it the one? What's that one? Respawn.
It's the Veil. Yeah.
Is it called
the very pretty one?
Yeah, the pretty one that's all shimmery. he points out with the new solar subclass and throwing those knives with precision, you'll go invisible once you get a precision kill. You could then be invisible and do your winding up of your heavy knife throw, couldn't you?
And all it takes is to hit that initial one
Yeah.
in the head after the slow ass wind.
No, but you could get a precision shot. It doesn't have to be a throwing knife shot.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You could be invisible from a gunplay and then just be an invisible hunter with a heavy throwing knife, just one shot in Guardians. So he's got he's got quite a few good builds, not just for the hunter, for the Titan and the Warlock going into the new season. So take a look at that, because it may be something you've got, as you said, in your vault, or something an exotic that you can pick up. So that's worth a watch. Then season 4 boss challenge, not season 4, boss challenge 4. Fallout Plays this week has done another video. So he didn't do the boss challenge 3, but he's done a boss challenge 4 video that I could find. So there you go, Respawn, because you were upset, weren't you, that we had to go to what's his face?
Yes, I do appreciate it. I had seen that video since then, but yeah. So.
And finally, Plunder the Booty has done another video for you hunters out there that makes the top tree tether rain for days too. So this is going on his last video that he did with I can't remember, it was the blades, wasn't it? The dodging and the throwing the grenades and recharging your blades up. So Frosty, if you missed it, last week we did a really good, or we didn't do, Plunder the Booty did a really good video that I highlighted. So if you go and check that out for your new Blade Barrage subclass that you're running. But then if you want to see the raining top tree tether, he's also done one for this week, which I'll link in the show notes. And that's it for my tips, tricks, and guides this week.
So we did it. We made it. Our show of chaos and notelessness anarchy is about to come to an end 18 hours later.
I have my accurate rig and sweet business on and awaiting Tuesday morning.
As you should be, good man. So I think with that, unless we have anything else to discuss, Detric, have you deleted pieces you've needed for quest steps lately?
I have learned my lesson. Trust me. That was horrible.
All right. Well, unless either of you have anything, any of you have anything to add, I'm just going to thank
you very much for having us.
Yes, it was fun.
You're very welcome.
Welcome.
You've been moaning for weeks, so we won't ever talk to you. So we figured now is a good time to talk. You're actually available. Fantastic, because
moaning for weeks.
Absolutely. So we are inexplicably up to 60 people subscribing to us on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. I'm not sure how or why you watch or listen to the show every week, but or if you do it all, great. I just want to give a quick shout out to Hatsubi Plays Games, to Solar Freak, and to Packlet Loss, which I definitely read as Packet Loss about 16 times. So you are a new subscriber for this week. So thank you. You brought us to a nice round number of 60. Thank you for subscribing to the show. It's exciting to at least have people subscribe. Hopefully you're watching. Once I figure out YouTube stats, I'll maybe check that out and see if people are actually watching the show and if this is all worth it. That's what I'm figuring too, because you're watching me play games, which is nothing you would really want to do. And with that, thank you for joining us. Your Titans are a parody, Night Demon and Detric. Your hunters are no one respawned in real life, and Fr0styHav0k, the one, the true, the original. You can email the show at 2titansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at 2titans_hunter. You can find the show on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube as well. You can join the Frozen clan now that we've booted some people that have been idle for over a month at join.frozen.party. That's Frozen with a 0. And honestly, if you don't know what to expect the worst and you won't be disappointed. You can find your favorite Guardian on Xbox Live and PC and Google Stadia, because we're all moving to Google Stadia come 2020. Watch the show on YouTube, listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. Tickety tuck old fruit and down with the Nazis.
Yes, eat a bag
Say
of
goodbye,
ducks.
everyone.
Ducks.
Quack. Right? You want to let me say?
Guys, we've got this new thing that we do at the end of the podcast.
That's not a new thing that we do. He's been trying to get people to do it. Don't fall for shenanigans.
Frosty and Detric.
It's all. You don't need to know it. No.
No, I think this thing needs to be a thing. This could be a thing.
Nope.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Nope.
Or to at least do something in an English accent. Bloody damn well.
No. Nope.
Ruined
Nope.
it.
No, don't.
Let's mute him for a minute.
Tickety tonko, fruit and down with the Nazis.
I think she said it just right.